And he just gives me the biggest smile in the world. I'm glad someone asked this question because I wanted to bring it up. I'm sure people walked by it and were like, what the hell's going on in there? Hi! If you're watching this video, I'm assuming it's because you've seen me appear in a few things recently and you're curious and have many questions about that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, how can I say this? Basically, over the past few months, I have found myself in a very peculiar situation. I'm like being really around the bush because even saying it is kind of like, but I've kind of found myself becoming a bit of a model in Korea. And I don't know how that's happened, but it's happened. A lot of people have questions for me, especially because most recently I had the chance to perform with one of the biggest groups in the world, aka BTS. A lot of people are like, how did you go from grad student to literally performing with BTS the next day? And that's a very good question. And we will be answering that question amongst many others over the next chunk of time. For your convenience, I will be separating this in sections because I think some people are more curious about other things, aka BTS, than other things, aka my academic life. So I will leave timestamps in the comments. I'm not going to hold you hostage. You can pick what you want to watch. And yeah, so let's begin. Let's start with talking about modeling. Just a little self-introduction here. My name's Haria. You know that. I'm from Canada. What else is important for you to know other than my name and nationality? Oh yeah, I'm a master's student in Seoul. I study 영상 영화, which is basically film. I do speak some Korean. It's very limited. I could put it on my resume and it's not a lie, basically. I put out a call on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram yet, you should go do that. I told people, ask me whatever you want. And we got quite a few questions. So let us begin. How did you start modeling? Okay, yeah, this is a very common question I've received. So let's get into that one. So I started modeling this past year. The first step in that journey was in the summer on Instagram, an agency that I follow called The Curve Korea, which is a natural size, plus size modeling agency. We love it. They put out a call that they were looking for foreign models who would fit like the agency's look. If you know me, you know modeling is never something I've ever been. It's never been in my plan. You know what I mean? Like it's never been something I considered. At that same time, I had been actually kind of upset with myself because I felt like I was like wasting some of my time in Korea. I'm in this big city that's kind of a mediatic hub and I'm not doing anything with that other than uploading the occasional YouTube video. And I was just kind of upset with myself that I wasn't achieving anything. I mean, COVID definitely put a damper on those types of plans that I had for myself, but it's still my life and I still need to figure out what I'm doing. If there's one thing that I learned through living in Korea, it's that you have to say yes to things that scare you more often. Even though no one was asking me to do anything, I thought, okay, I should apply. It scares me, but I should do it because why not? I sent them an email. 15 minutes later, they sent a reply and I met them the next week. Meeting the agency, they were super sweet, super awesome. I loved hearing about their plans in general, just for the future and like what they want to achieve diversity-wise within Korea. It was very inspiring. They decided that they wanted to move forward with me, which was really awesome. I was very honored about that. But I was also super nervous because I was like, I had no idea what I was really putting myself into. I have to make a distinction though. I am not legally signed to The Curve or any agency for that matter. I'm not allowed to be signed to any agencies based on my visa. I'm not signed to any agencies. I just have like a working relationship with them, whatever you want to call it, but it's not a contract. I have to highlight that. Once I like joined The Curve, honestly, I didn't really expect anything to change. I never really had many high expectations for myself as a model. And I was like, you know, it's probably just more for the clout of it all, like to be able to say I have something. Didn't envision myself ever getting booked for any jobs. And this remained true for several months. Anyways, that's how I started modeling. That's gonna lead us into our second question, which is about the Nike and Bts Shoot. How did you end up in that commercial? One day in October, I was having dinner with some friends. I got a call. They like visibly saw the panic on my face set in while I was on the call. And basically I was told there is a shoot next week with a global athletic brand and they requested you are you free next week? And I was like, why would you request me? What? Everything within me was screaming, no, don't say yes, don't say yes, because I just knew that I was going to come with a buttload of anxiety and stress, things that I wouldn't be able to control. Because one thing about being a model is you are not in control. You are like someone else's vessel. That's really scary to like not be able to dress yourself or like pick the angles that you're going to appear in if you are a person who has rock bottom self-confidence like me. Yeah, everything within me was screaming, no, don't do it, don't do it. And my friends were just like, are you dumb? Of course you're going to say yes. And of course I said yes. Why wouldn't I? Logically speaking. So everything happened very quickly. Within a few days, I'm literally at a rehearsal. I walk in the room. Lee Jung is sitting there, like just in a corner. And at the time I didn't know, like I knew who Lee Jung was, but I didn't know that was her. We have this like nice conversation and she's super sweet. She starts speaking in English and I'm like, oh, you're fluent. I don't need to be doing struggle Korean right now. And she was just really nice and sweet. And then more models started coming in, more dancers. Everyone was really kind. I knew some people. So it was nice to actually be like, oh, hi, I know you. You know, next, like one of the Kwan twins walks in. Again, I know of the Kwan twins. I didn't know he was one of them. Monica Shin walks in and I was like, I've definitely seen you on TV before. I just didn't remember exactly who she was. I was sitting in that rehearsal room in that studio and I was like, how the hell did I get into this? Like, how the hell was I brought into this situation? That was just crazy to me. Then Monica Shin basically led us into this whole like dance class. I originally thought like I would just be like posing, like, you want to be on top. Like I was just going to be like being a model and everyone else who was hired as a dancer was going to be dancing. I was wrong. We were all treated the same. We were all dancers in that space. I was fighting for my life, basically. I was on So You Think You Can Dance and I was dancing for my life. I don't think I've ever been that sore in my life. It was very fun, but also just, it was a lot. I didn't stretch because I didn't know that I was going to be doing anything other than quite the rude awakening. It was a very extraordinary, like, opportunity. Who can say that they've danced with some of Korea's most talented dancers? Me. And I'm not even a dancer. I think I held my own, to be honest. Your girl is a little flexible, so I feel like I was holding my own in there. But nothing compared to, like, the people who are actually brought on as dancers, for sure. Because there was a lot of freestyling, and the only freestyling I ever do is the club at 3 a.m., and it looks like this. So I don't think I was very impressive, but I didn't get fired. So after a few days, we had the fitting and then we had the actual shoot and I was still incredibly sore. I walk onto the set and it's massive. It's this huge production. And again, I'm like, how the hell did I get wrapped into this? Right? Like, how did this happen? I don't know. It was a really long shoot, but it was fun. I loved hanging out with everyone. The fun thing is like, I had my braids just like this. The hairstylist like added more color, like another color into my braid. And at first I was like, oh yeah, I'm taking this out immediately. I don't like a lot of color in my braids. But then, oh, I kind of like it now. I'm kind of into it. I might do some blue braids back again. But yeah, they even did my hair. I was very shocked that they could. That being my first big shoot was kind of crazy because I never expected it. Then it just randomly came out and everyone was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just there. I just got lucky. So yeah, for the GD Nike shoot, a lot of people asked me how I was cast for it. I was cast for it. That's the answer. I never auditioned for anything. I didn't know there was anything to audition for. Yeah. How do you get booked for dancing jobs? Someone makes a mistake. I can't dance, but I try my best to look like I can. And if you put me in like a group of people who can dance, like I'll definitely probably look like the weakest dancer, but I think I can like pull it together. I don't know. Because BTS Shoot was also dancing, but it's not like I was like stomping the yard on anything. Like I wasn't crumping. I was just doing my best. Talk about the BTS Shoot a little bit later, but the thing about that one was we were literally like just told to have fun and look good and enjoy ourselves. The vibe was basically just having fun. And so you see us on stage and we're vibing to the music and we're singing and dancing and whatever. And it's real. Like we were literally just like having a good time up there. We play a song and we're getting lit. So it doesn't require a lot other than I think basic rhythm and basic coordination. But that doesn't come easy for everyone either. So I digress. Next question. I want to live in Korea. How would I get started with modeling agencies? We like this. It's giving Twilight. How to get started in Korea with modeling agencies. I feel like I'm not the best person to ask because I didn't come to Korea with the purpose of modeling. I just came to Korea and got lucky. I'm coming from a very different standpoint, but okay, I think it's a little bit more complicated. The easiest thing would be to get a company to sponsor your visa and to work with them. However, you have to make sure that whatever contract you're going to end up signing is good and actually allows you to get a livelihood. If you're doing like a 50-50 deal and you only get paid 1,000,000 won, which is like $1,000, and you're only getting $500, then you don't get a job for like another 3 weeks. You're kind of in a shitty situation. If it's something you're seriously passionate about, number one, I would say rake up a lot of savings so that you're good to go. Number two, cold contact a bunch of agencies that you think you would be a good fit for. So look at their roster of foreign models and see if you think you would be a good fit for them. Make sure that they actually sponsor visas and stuff like that. And then hopefully one says yes. Otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. You have to come to Korea through your own accord, through your own reasoning. And then you can't just like come to Korea and say you're going to be a model because, again, the visa thing. So you would need to figure out a situation that works for you. And I don't have any advice to give on that because I didn't do that. But the best advice I can give you, 2 things. Number one, have a look, define yourself. And okay, I don't think I have like a very wow look. But so as a plus size model, I know that I'm not going to be booked for like a random clothes brand that needs someone to model their new denim skirts. You know what I mean? Like I know that in most cases when I get booked, it's because they want a specific look. And it's down to diversity. It's down to just being unique. I think for the GD one, they want people with unique looks, basically. That's why I got to have like my long hair and they even accentuated it and stuff like that. They didn't try to like hide my body through like a million layers. They like let me have like they have the titties out even. I think it's important to figure out what kind of modeling you excel at and then also figuring out how to market yourself. Are you gonna be like the kind of model who's good for makeup brands, skincare brands? Or are you more like a unique look who is good for campaigns about, I don't know, random things like sneakers? I don't know. Figuring out how you want to market yourself. And then when that's done, making yourself known. Like people need to know you're there. If no one knows you're there, no one's going to contact you. So either getting your portfolio out there or making sure your Instagram feed looks good, etc. I don't think you really need an agency, but you need to have the legal framework. That's the hard part, I think. I hope that answered some of it. I hope that helped. Next question is modeling pet peeve. I mean, I definitely have some. I've got a few. This is definitely accentuated because I am a plus size model in Korea. It's definitely not limited to Korea, not that I have experience modeling outside of here. So the first thing I hate is clients, brands, whatever, who want diversity but don't want to diversify. That was a word. If you want diversity, you have to diversify. Were you silent or were you silenced? And by that, I mean, you want to hire a black model? Awesome. Are you going to hire a makeup artist who knows how to do black makeup? You want to hire a plus size model? Amazing. Are you going to hire a stylist who knows how to style plus size bodies? Yeah, that is my really big pet peeve because at the end of the day, there has been no one who has been able to do my makeup or styling adequately. And for both, I'm happy to do them myself. You tell me the look we're going for, I'll figure it out. At this point in my career, makeup artists and stylists, like we tussle. Unfortunately, I can do a much better job styling myself than your stylist can. And if you give me the styling budget, I'll do even better. I have learned that for makeup especially, I have to speak up for myself. And I think most black models like globally know this for themselves as well. Like you have to speak up for yourself. You have to. If you see something going wrong, you have to say something because no one's gonna watch your back. I used to have a mentality that like, well, if the client likes me looking like this, then I guess, I'm their vessel. But no, baby. It's just because no one knows any better. If you know better, fix it. I've had shoots that like, I was like, oh my God, I'm so ugly. But really, it wasn't my fault. It was the makeup artist. And I just have to like deal with that. Because of that trauma, now I'm just like, if I don't like it, we did it on site. Don't want to be put in that position again. So yeah, my modeling pet peeve is the fact that I have to do the makeup artist and stylist job, but I don't get the title of makeup artist or stylist or the fee. That's my pet peeve. And also, it's not a pet peeve actually, because I would rather get booked and busy than anything than not being booked and busy. But when I get booked as a model, but then I show up on set and I have to start shucking and jiving, I'm not a dancer. I'm barely a model at this point. Like, damn, I think I actually just need to like take dance classes at this point, because if I'm gonna keep getting like these jobs where I'm a surprise dancer, then I need to know what the hell I'm doing because it's bad. Okay, how to get into modeling in Korea when you're not a size 2. I'm still figuring it out, to be completely honest. There are a lot of models who are not size 2s, who are just like natural sizes. I'm gonna assume that you're talking for plus size modeling. How to do it? I mean, you just start doing it. Like, market yourself and hope that you'll start getting casting offers. That's how it ended up working out for me, by surprise. I think it's important to be aware of the fact, though, that there are not a lot of plus size models there are quite a few plus size models in Korea. There are not many foreign plus size models in Korea, let alone black ones. Like, I actually don't know any. I think I'm one of the only, I don't want to say I'm the only one, because maybe there's more, I just don't know yet. I'm one of the very few. So you have to understand that this industry is just starting to open itself up to more diversity. And more often than not, you're going to have to be the one who has these really awkward conversations. I know, because I've had those conversations. I don't like them. We are very much like carving out a new industry right now. That means that you will struggle. You will have very difficult moments, probably. I've personally had a few of them, and I'm not even like a full-time model or anything. I just do it every once in a while. And you're gonna have to like advocate for yourself, because no one else will do it for you, like I said. And if something's not right, you have to speak up for yourself. Sometimes whenever I do certain jobs, I kind of get like overwhelmed, because I don't want to have to be the one who breaks down these barriers or whatever. Not to say that I am doing all these things, but I don't want to have to be the one to do these things. But I have to, because it's unprecedented, but it gets exhausting. So if this is something you want to do, like, you have to know that it's not all glamour, it's not all fun, it's stressful and it's annoying, and you're not expected to complain about it. Something I think it's important that I also share is the fact that I'm not comfortable with how I look. I'm not a person who's confident in their looks naturally. And so whenever I do a job with modeling, especially, it takes a toll on me psychologically a lot. So I don't know. I think that if this is something you want to do psychologically, you really have to build yourself up, because I am suffering. But it's okay, because I do enjoy it. It's just I need therapy. Another thing I want to say is, I know a lot of people like the idea of Korea, but like, if you're diverse in any sense of the word, like, this is a very premature industry. Is Korea the best place to share it? Is this where you want to like focus yourself? You have to ask these things, because I often get people saying like, oh, I want to move to Korea in a few years. I'm like, have you been here though? Like, do you know what it's like? Because a lot of people come here and don't end up liking it. And that's okay, because every country has positives and negatives. But you need to know this before you start sowing all your oats in Korea. Like, think about this for real, and don't just let the allure and the glamour of the media world here and K-pop and whatever Korean media, like, don't let that be your only barometer, because it's not always fun either. I feel like we've answered a lot of questions about me and modeling, so it's only right that we move on to the next section, which is talking about BTS. Like, legally, I don't know what I'm actually allowed to talk about. So if you see this video disappear, you know why. So how did you get booked for BTS? Okay. A company that had offered me some castings beforehand, they basically just contacted me. They were like, hey, are you interested in being booked for a concert on these dates? And I was like, yes, I am. And they were like, okay, thank you. You're in consideration. And then a few days later, they got back to me and they were like, congratulations, you've been selected. And I was like, thank you. Like, they were like an anonymous group, but I very much knew who it was already, because I saw the dates. I knew the concert dates. That was basically how I was cast. So, like I said, get out there. Get your comp card out there, baby. Make sure people know who you are. How was the whole Seoul permission to dance experience? How staff treated you guys, rehearsal with the boys, etc. Whole experience was really fun. I had a really great time. Yeah, backstage, it was honestly a vibe in our dressing room. One thing that you can always be certain of when working as a model or just on a shoot or whatever is, if there's one thing you're gonna do, you're gonna wait. You are literally gonna spend hours just sitting there. I was doing readings, I was doing homework, I was working on my thesis. We were having like a good time. We were just getting to know each other. We were having debates. We were arguing about things that are inconsequential. We were playing Uno, and you know how Black people get when they play Uno, like it gets very volatile very quickly, and that's exactly what happened. We were singing songs, and we were like having a sing-alongs, and it was just really fun to just chill like that, and not have to worry about anything outside of our dressing room. I can say with confidence, our dressing room was a vibe, period. I'm sure people walked by it and were like, what the hell's going on in there? We were just having a good time. Our treatment from staff felt very normal. I'm assuming you meant like Hybe staff or like concert staff. And yeah, I don't have any negative things to say. Not that I would say them here if I did, because me getting in the way of my bag. But no, I have nothing negative to say though. Felt very like normal. I didn't feel like there was much of a difference between us and other people. We were just there enjoying ourselves, having fun. The dancers, some of them were quite nice as well. They would like cheer us on when we were going out as well. We would cheer them on as well. Got a lot like Rehearsals, you worked hard coming off stage. That was very nice to hear because I know they worked harder. We took pictures together sometimes, and we would bow when we walked by one another. That's good. It was a nice working relationship with my coworkers. Did you rehearse in the same room as BTS? I mean, we rehearsed on the same stage. We were rehearsing outside. So how did BTS look in real life? I was watching them during their dress rehearsal. They looked very normal, like how they normally look. They didn't have makeup on. They had like their little facial hair, and they looked very exactly as you expect. V is incredibly pretty though, I will say, even without makeup, without anything on him. Like I was like, damn. And then when you see him with the makeup, like you see them like all done up with their hair and their styling and everything, it's like, damn. I also got a lot of questions about their height, and to be completely honest, I think they all like had the same, like no one shocked me visually. Like they all looked exactly how you would expect them to look. Next question. What is the most memorable moment during rehearsals? So a lot of people asked, did you meet them? Did you talk to them, etc.? Depends on how you define meet, because I didn't talk to them. Meet can also be interpreted as like engage with them, which I did do, somewhat, sort of. Okay, I feel so pathetic saying this story. Like, it really meant something to me. Okay, so when we went on stage for the first time, and it was our rehearsal with them, and they all turned around and looked up at us. Specifically for me, like, Jimin was the first one I made eye contact with, and he was, like, looking at me, I'm looking at him. I just, like, didn't have anything on my, I didn't say anything, like, my face didn't say anything. I was like, and then Jimin looks and he just gives me the biggest smile in the world. Like, it was a good smile, okay? It was a good, genuine smile. I really felt it, and I smiled back too. And it was just a very sweet moment for me. V also gave everyone like an up and down and like a howdy, like the equivalent of that, but no hat. At some point during the show, they like go on these trolley things and they go around the stadium. We were just watching, like by the stage and watching them do that. And then Jungkook waved. So, yeah, those are my scraps. Those are my scraps of interacting with BTS. Which brings us to the next question. What are your thoughts on Jungkook when you saw him? Thanks. I'm glad someone asked this question because I wanted to bring it up. Look, the thing about Jungkook is like watching the dress rehearsal, I was really impressed with him because he was dancing like the rent was due, and he had a family of 5 living with him. He never let like a beat pass without giving it his all. I was just so impressed with him. He really performed, like he left it all on stage, and it was only dress rehearsal. No one has to perform at dress rehearsal. Like no one has to do anything at dress rehearsal, but he was doing everything, and it was just really impressive. He is such a performer. I think even if you're not a big BTS fan or whatever, you just see that and it's like really impressive. So yeah, it talks about how amazing Jungkook is. First expression when you were told you were going to be a dancer for the concert. I didn't know I was going to be a dancer. I was brought on as a member of the choir. I was just very excited and I was very much in disbelief. Up until The literal moment I got on stage, I kept thinking like something's gonna happen. I'm gonna get COVID again. I'm not gonna be able to go. I was basically like quarantining like 2 weeks before. I thought like they're gonna cut me because I'm not good enough. Won't like I do something or how I look or whatever. The producer's gonna see me and hate me and he's gonna cut me. I kept thinking that something was gonna get in the way of me and this job. Thankfully, nothing did, and I got to do all 3 shows and it was amazing. Was V enamored by your hips, yes or no? Well, if he was, I think I would know by now. He'd know where to contact me. I'm kidding. I would never. He's my coworker. I would never. Is Jimin short? No. Nothing wrong with being short, but no. He's a 6'17" king, okay? He's like average, I don't know. He's whatever they tell you he is. A lot of people ask, like, if you are not a dancer, then how did you get booked with BTS? Which is a fair question to ask. We were booked as members of the choir. We were basically just on stage and we made a vibe for ourselves. We just got on there and we were dancing, we were hitting our beats. If you saw us, I know we didn't appear very much in like the live stream, but if you saw us, we were really just having a good time on stage. You're performing in front of 15,000 people. For some reason, I wasn't nervous or anything. I think it's because I knew most people were just staring at BTS, so I was like, whatever. And I just went out there. You're on stage, you look to the person on your right or whatever, and they're having a good time. They have a huge smile on their face because you're performing with one of the biggest groups in the world in front of this large crowd, and all these beautiful lights are in front of you, and you're just having a good time. One thing that was really funny was on our first live show, we didn't know that there was going to be like fireworks explosions or anything. We didn't know. Smooth like shook me to my core. And it was just really funny because we were like trying to hold our poses. We literally like lost our shit. I could see all the other girls and they're like, yeah, that was one of my favorite memories, just seeing everyone freak out from the fireworks and the cannons. Made for a really pretty show, though. I will say that. It was still fun, still a good time, still good vibes. Everything was great. Going on from modeling, I'm going to go to some etc. questions that I just don't really have a category. Where do you see yourself post-grad, or do you have a job lined up already? I don't have a job lined up, but I do have a dream. So I really would like to stay in Korea and continue this freelancing career because though I am not confident with my looks, I'm also a person who's very fact-based and like logic-oriented. I'm INTP. Though I don't like see myself and think immediately model. I do know that in the first few months of my modeling career, I have booked some of the biggest brands and jobs that I could possibly ever get. That tells me that this is without applying myself. So if I started applying myself, I could probably do a lot more and a lot better, right? Let's hope. But I also need a job. So if anyone has any jobs for me, please let me know. On a social media content creation team for a company, and then model on the side and content create on my own on the side. And then within a few months, put down a deposit for a beautiful office tel in Seongsu Station. That is my dream. Let's make it a reality, guys. Fighting. Will you post more covers on YouTube? That video is still up. Interesting. Didn't realize that video was still up. Very cringy. I know exactly which one you're referring to. No, but music is the thing I honestly have always loved the most. It just feels so cheesy. I don't want to talk about this. I really like music and I really love singing. It's one of my favorite hobbies. It's more than that. It's more than a hobby. It's a passion. I would like to do more of it, to be honest. It's funny because all these random career things that I've done that without really trying, but the one thing I'm truly, truly, truly passionate about, I've never, ever had an opening with. I would like to make more videos about singing and covers, but I'm also just terribly shy about being average about something or just not being very good at it. I've always kind of been like that. Like, I never tell people when I'm achieving things in my life. I keep it silent, like the G in lasagna. I didn't tell my friends I was making YouTube videos till like a year on, and every time I published a new YouTube video, I felt so much anxiety because I didn't want people judging me, I guess, or yeah, I think it was the judging. And I just hated showing myself as like average. But I should grow up because I'm a grown woman. Anyways. I want to come to Korea to teach, but I'm nervous because I'm a person of color. Advice. Well, everyone in Korea, not everyone, but like most people in Korea are people of color. I'm assuming you mean black, and if that's the case, Please don't let things like that hold you back from doing what you want to do. Anti-Blackness is global, and it's embedded in pretty much every country in the world. If you always consider anti-Blackness like going with whatever it is you want to do, you probably won't achieve much. As long as it's within reason, your safety and health are not compromised, just do it. Just do it, especially if it pertains to traveling. Don't hold yourself back just because people are ignorant. Just, I guess, fix up your expectations. I have made a video on that as well with my friend Kira a few years ago. I haven't rewatched the video in a while, so I don't know if I still agree with myself, but I will leave the link in the description box and you can watch it and see if you agree or not. When did you move to Korea and where were you living before? I moved to Korea in summer of 2019 and I was living in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada before that. In your opinion, does sugar belong in grits? To be completely honest, I don't actually know what grits are. Is it oatmeal? I've only ever heard of grits when I watch like Black American TV shows or movies. I actually have no idea what it is, but I don't know. Does sugar belong in grits? You tell me. Your favorite song at the moment? My recently added is very random. Like there's a lot in there. So I'm enjoying listening to the new Mitski album, Laurel Hell. Mitski just gets me. There's a song I really like that I've heard it before, but I didn't really care for it. It was recently, I guess, a TikTok trend. I think TikTok music is some of the worst music I've ever heard in my life. Like the music that becomes a trend is truly abhorrent. Gen Z has the worst taste in music. It's violently bad. This is not one of those songs. By Nicki called Every Summertime. It was in the Shang-Chi soundtrack. And at first, yeah, I didn't care for it, but the part that became a trend on TikTok, I think is one of the best parts of the song. It's just such a beautiful melody. It's like, every year we get older, but I'm still by your side. Something about magnolias. I find it so sweet and so pretty. So that's one of my favorite songs right now. Thank you for your question. Any tips for someone who wants to move but isn't fluent in Korean? If you're doing anything other than English teaching, you need Korean, I think. You can get by in Korea without knowing Korean for the most part, but your quality of life is just not going to be good. I don't recommend it. If you plan on living here, you do need to learn Korean, or else you're just going to eventually be miserable. It might not hit in the beginning, but it will hit eventually. I was forced to learn Korean for a whole year, and it definitely helped, but it was a year of pain. Like I struggled for a whole year. It was a difficult year for me, and as well as all my classmates at the time. It's just like hard work, pain, dedication. It's about drive and it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. That's the best I can say. And if you don't have the opportunity to study Korean for a whole year, like my privileged ass, then I recommend study as if you're studying for topic 2. Topic 1 is nothing. It's literally like baby Korean, okay? So live your life like you're studying for topic 2. And I think once you hit like topic 3, 4, that's when the curve like really happens and you go from, yeah, I can speak Korean, 안녕하세요, to like actually having deeper conversations with people and knowing what's happening. Yeah. That is, that's my recommendation on that. I feel like I've answered most of the questions I received on Instagram. High-key, this video probably took me like 25 years to edit, and that's 25 years I could have applied to my thesis. So if you have any more questions, let me know. I would be happy to make another one of these videos. I would like to make more YouTube videos. I don't know if it's something I can commit to exactly right now because, not gonna lie, I attempted to record this 3 times. This is the first time I made it to the end because I got stressed out looking at myself in the camera. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. On your way out, feel free to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. That would be great. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My usernames are the same. And for my parting words, I will leave you with this. Say yes to things that scare you. Don't ever limit yourself because of your race or anything else about you for that matter. And especially don't let things that boil down to other people's opinions stop you from achieving what you want to do. And finally, whatever you do in life, know that Jungkook is probably out there doing it better than you. Take care and be safe. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.